Hello my fellow breathers, it is I, Monster Breath, and welcome to Thoughts, Feelings and Emotions, where I give my thoughts, my feelings and emotions on just about anything. Today we're going to be talking about the very recent VGA 2016, VGA being Video Game Awards. They've just finished, I just finished watching them. I'm just going to have a quick brief rundown of who won what and generally how it all went. Overall, was a pretty decent showing. Jeff Keighley and his team generally play with the formula. I think they've settled down a little bit on what it is they want to be doing. A lot more like a Oscar sort of thing, kind of smashed together with a sort of E3 reveal type thing going on. There was a pre-show, which they actually gave some awards out on the pre-show as well. I won't go through every single award, just more of the notable ones. And there was some pretty cool reveals and extra gameplay extra gameplay footage of some games that have already been announced but are not yet out. To kick things off, best mobile game was Pokemon Go. Deservedly won. I think it's definitely a highlight of the year, especially as far as I'm concerned. I still play it every now and again, and it's cool, and I like it. Also announced a new, I don't even know what to call this, but Gearbox making a new initiative. I'm gonna call it an initiative called Gearbox Publishing, and they announced a new game, which is Bulletstorm. Something. Yeah, Bulletstorm. It's an old game, and they're making it again, and you can be Duke Nukem in it if you want to. Who cares? I mean, it's going to be in 4K, that's cool, but you know, Bulletstorm didn't do that well in the first place, let alone, again, now that's old. I don't know. Who knows what that's all about. Hideo Kojima was finally there, which is a big deal, especially since he wasn't there last year because Konami were doing their Konami stuff. So he accepted his Industry Icon Award from Jeff Keighley, where just before he received it, Jeff Keighley gushed all over him. Really, it's kind of warranted though. He had some bad stuff done to him. So yeah, it was good. So he took his award and thanked everybody for it, and you know, he's an all-round good guy. It's Hideo Kojima. He then had another trailer for Death Stranding, which is actually my highlight of the entire VGAs this year. So such a good trailer. Norman Reedus wasn't even in it, but I think it had how do you say his name? Guillermo del Toro anyway. I believe he was the first guy. I didn't actually say anything in the credits afterwards, but I have a feeling it was him. Again, completely weird and whacked out, but awesome. And it also has Mads Mikkelsen in it, so he seems to be the bad guy in this. So looking forward to see looking forward to seeing what that has in store for us. Easily, I think my most anticipated game, which is sad as well because it's not being released anytime soon. Mads Mikkelsen, Norman Reedus, and Guillermo del Toro. GDT. There were ads breaking up different sections of the VGAs, and the ads were just trailers for games that are already out, just to plug it some more, because we don't already know about them. We're also hit over the head repeatedly with the new Assassin's Creed movie coming out. First time was cool, and then again, and then again. I think there was 3 Assassin's Creed film plugs, with a little bit of not a trailer, it was like a sneak peek at what to expect with the trailer as well. Yeah, it was just lots, a bit overkill. Didn't really care for it too much, but I am keen to see the movie, but it hasn't spurred me anymore to see it. It just annoyed me a little bit. Music. Okay, music is very much up to people's taste, and I can appreciate that. But apart from the Doom, which they did like a Doom medley of all the metal music they had from this guy from Australia, which was cool, represent. Other than that, I don't think any of the other 2 stage performances, which were some rap guy and some other rap guy, and they were awful, by the way, had anything to do with games in the first place. Yes, it was awkward, it was bad, and I remembered that I had a mute button, so I pressed it, and then it wasn't so bad. But yeah, absolutely no reason why it needed to be there, and it detracted from the overall thing rather than added. And that's not what you want. Keep it to the games. And if it's going to be music, make it games and music and games, because that's kind of what we're all here for. Other than that, so best art direction was Inside, a little indie game, which also got the best indie title. Haven't actually played it myself, but I remember all the hype that was around it when it first got released, so that's cool. Telltale Games announced with a very, very short little teaser trailer their new Telltale game, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. I might play this one, maybe. I'm kind of... I played the first Walking Dead, all episodes of that, first season. And that was cool. It's a Telltale game. Next. The Schick ads. Schick being the shavers. So bad. So not culturally aware of anything. And they had this big giant shaver robot mascot guy there, and then they had these ads where they were this like 16-bit or 8-bit games with the new Razor fighting old generic Razor. Oh, it was awful. And it's between that and the rapping music, which was the worst parts of the whole thing. I actually know. Oh, it's hard because they're both really bad. They're both really bad. I'm gonna go with the Schick ads. There we go. Doom won the best action game. Okay. I think it was probably the most surprising action game. Whether it was the best action game, it's up to you and up to them. And they said yes, so, you know, whatever. That Dragon Cancer won the best impact game, which I think is a new award. I don't know. And fair enough. The guy who developed it made a very heartfelt speech, because the game itself is about his process of dealing with his son, infant-ish son, having cancer. And yeah, it was definitely a very heartfelt and touching moment in the VGAs this year, and yeah, deserved winner. Really good. New game announced called Dauntless, which looks to be like a Fable Legends, since Fable Legends isn't a thing anymore. Okay, sure, whatever. Boogie2988 won the, what was it called? Trending Gamer Award. And I was actually really happy about that. I follow Boogie. Well done, Boogie. Big thumbs up. And it was good to see him there. Yeah, excellent job. And very deserving winner. I always seem to watch his stuff. So it's cool, even if I don't really care too much about what he's talking about. I just like to hear his opinion on it. Although we got to see his wife in the show. She was just sitting down next to him, which was interesting because he's very careful not to show his wife on camera on his own channel. So we got to see her there, so I'm not sure if you'd be too happy about that or not. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Boogie, if you're watching? Which I highly doubt. But yeah, there was that. The Witcher 3 expansion, Blood and Wine, won the best RPG, so expansions can win stuff, which kind of says something for RPGs this year. The Witcher is amazing, but you know. So yeah, anyway, that one. Civ 6 got the best strategy game. I think it was the only strategy. No, it's probably not the only strategy game, but it's good. And Cloud9 won the best esports team, which I know a little bit about, but I still don't care too much. But yep, they won that. Noel North won the best vocal performance award, and he took that moment in the spotlight to kind of beat down on all his fellow voice actors who are kind of on strike with this whole voice actor strike thing, and said, in a nutshell really, that his performance is important, but it's more important that the developers perform well and that they do a good job to bring it all together, because without them, he doesn't have a platform to do his work or have a job or anything like that. So he really put things into context, I suppose, which was good. And, you know, he's just encouraging people to move on and get over it, which downplays the issue, if there is one, but then it's just adding to the debate over it. So, you know, whatever. It was cool. It was a good speech. Some guy won Best Esport Person, which, again, like I said, I don't care too much about. Michael Phelps presented the award, which was cool. And he introduced this guy as an athlete. Now, I'm only going to touch on this slightly, but I was chatting to my friends on Discord as we were watching, and I just, yeah, odd to call an esporter an athlete, I thought. What are your thoughts on that? Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. But I personally think it's a bit strange to call someone who plays esports and competes in esport events an athlete, because that then means that they're athletic. Because I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a skill, and I definitely think it's a sport. I just don't think he's an athlete. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. After that, Forza Motorsport 3, set in Australia, won Best Sports Game, which is cool and fair. I think general reception is really good. I love my FIFA and my PES. I don't know. I don't like FIFA again this year. It's probably just me being a sook, because I'm not having fun playing it, and that's the beginning and end of it. And PES is good, but it needs to move forward as well. Needs to catch up. It's plain and simple. Forza deserving winners of Best Sports Game for 2016. And then there was a pretty cool story trailer for Halo Wars 2. It looks really cool, actually. I'm excited for it. I don't know if I'll play it or not. I played the first one, really enjoyed that on the 360. If I get this one, it'll be on PC, because I don't have an Xbox One anymore. But I might get one eventually because of 4K Blu-ray playing. Sony. Trailer looked really cool, and I'm always a little bit of a sucker for Halo, because that, you know, Halo 2, glory days. But yeah, anyway, award for game direction went to Uncharted 4 again, which, you know, who's gonna say it shouldn't? No one. Best multiplayer and best esports went to Overwatch, and rightly so, because it's awesome. That's all. Then there was more bad rapping music, and I'm muted it again. And then Telltale again announced another Walking Dead game, which seems different, but of course the same. So, you know, do what you want, but I don't care for it anymore. And then there was a decent gameplay show off of Mass Effect Andromeda, which looks awesome. Yeah, really excited for that one. It's coming out in spring 2017, as Australian spring, so the fall in America. So yeah, it looked really cool. It looks like a proper action version of No Man's Sky, planets, and, you know, and yet still grounded in what you know Mass Effect to be, which is cool. And the Fiend, the big monster that came out in the Fiend and killed the main player and picked him up. Well, yeah, it was cool. If you haven't seen it, watch it. Which leads to then the Game of the Year award, which I think there was a few in contention, like Uncharted 4, Doom, Titanfall 2, Overwatch. In the end, Overwatch was the winner, which I thought was, I mean, they're all good games. I feel sorry for Titanfall 2, not that I've played it, and again, I feel sorry for them that I haven't played it, and I don't really want to either, because I've heard it's really good. It's just kind of stuck in this awkward rut of whether or not there's room for another game like Titanfall. You know, I don't know. Anyway, Overwatch won Game of the Year, and rightly so. Not that yeah, good. Yeah, overall, like I said at the top of this video, it was a good show this year. Any recommendations for next year would simply be to drop anything that's not game related, like those stupid rap song rubbish things. I know you need to have endorsements like Chic, but you just gotta do them better. They weren't good. It's like Joel McHale, he co-hosted a couple years ago, and he just made fun of gamers the entire time he was on there. This is kind of a justification of making fun of gamers, because it was just awful. This year was co-hosted by, I know it. I've had a mind blank. What's your name? Carl Bosman. Big follower of his when he was working at Game Trailers, when Game Trailers was still a thing, even though it's been bought out by IGN now and just shows Game Trailers. But anyway, Jeff Keighley, not Jeff Keighley. Oh no, I've forgotten his name again. Kyle Bosman. was a decent co-host this year. He had some pretty rubbish lines sometimes, but they weren't his, and he was reading off the prompter, and he knew they were rubbish, so it was kind of like a bit of like a wink wink nudge nudge, and that was okay. So overall, good showing, and I think it's an interesting thing as to whether or not the industry even needs something like this, which I'm on the side of the fence that it does, because it's not really a search for legitimacy. I think it'll always be legitimate with its own crowd, as with anything. But I think if it's ever going to be taken seriously outside of its own audience, stuff like the VGAs are important to that being a thing. So Jeff Keighley and his crew are doing, I think, the right things and stepping towards a legitimate end of year thing, and it's good. It's good. Anyway, what did you think of the VGAs for this year, if you saw them? If you didn't, why didn't you? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a like, because it helps me. If you want to see more of these videos, subscribe. Until then, bye guys. Monster Breath is out.